Alright, let me preface with this fair warning, gentle viewer. There may be some mild spoilers ahead. So this is the time to turn back if you're wanting to go into this experience blind as a bat. In which case, get off the internet. I'm gonna show some clips and talk about my first few hours with the game, and I might talk about the D word. Might show you a dungeon. Just a little bit of my first dungeon, maybe. Gonna show you a dungeon. Probably. I'm gonna show you a f***ing dungeon. You have been warned, saith I. So let's get into it. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has a lot to live up to. Not only has the Zelda franchise been around since 1986 when the original game launched on the NES, but that game and each subsequent release has been generally well reviewed. That's 37 years of greatness, my dudelets. Just look at these Metacritic numbers. Ooh, these mean almost nothing. On top of that, 2017's Zelda entry, Breath of the Wild, has sold over 29 million copies, and it won Game of the Year. Plus, recently, GQ ranked it #1 on a list of the 100 greatest games, and if anyone can be trusted to know a lot about nerd shit, it's a gentleman's lifestyle magazine. Anyhow, Tears of the Kingdom was stepping into some pretty big shoes. And baby, so far it's knocked it out of the freaking park, sailed it to the moon, and set up shop as the video game industry's newest daddy. I'm mixing metaphors and I've lost my own train of thought. Sue me, I'm excited. I'm having a blast with this vidya game. What the team at Nintendo has accomplished and crammed into a 16 gigabyte file on the Switch is nothing short of amazing. This game is so big, the sandbox is so complex, the design is so tight, that in my opinion it puts other AAA game makers on notice. They had better hope Nintendo stays behind the curve on hardware. If the day comes where this team is working with something on performance par with the PS5 or the Xbox Series XS, well, good luck everybody else. Tears of the Kingdom is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, and like Majora's Mask, following in the wake of Ocarina of Time, it takes a slightly darker, and I think a more mythic approach. We got us a spooky cave, a mummy, body horror, blonde people, ghost arms, princesses falling into gloom. It's enough to get a body worked up. I gotta say, I think the music is a slight step up from Breath of the Wild's more minimal approach. It's still not a consistent full-throated orchestra, but it strikes the right mood time and again. In particular, I have to shout out the music accompanying the approach of the first dungeon I encountered. And I know it's weird I'm not showing you the music, but Nintendo, YouTube, copyright laws, you can look it up yourself or play the game. I warned you I was going to show off some dungeon footage. That's what this is. Here's some more, and here's some more. Tears of the Kingdom takes place in the same world and on the same map as Breath of the Wild, but it expands on just about everything. You have a series of floating archipelagos. You have a series of floating islands in the sky. You have chasms dropping you into a network of vast caverns beneath the surface of Hyrule, and everywhere you look, the villages and the landscape has evolved, progressed, or regressed in meaningful ways. Look, I still have a hell of a lot to explore, but I have no doubt I will be filled with the same sense of discovery and wonder around every corner, just like I was in Breath of the Wild. Beyond that, the new ability set comprising powers like Ultra Hand, Ascend, and Fuse completely revitalized the way you interact and explore this world. The first game's set of abilities gave you tools for exploration and combat that were specific and tailor-made for certain jobs. Tears of the Kingdom hands you an infinity gauntlet, slaps you on the ass, and calls you Thanos. You can do just about anything. Build bridges, build vehicles, fuse a rocket to your shield and say hello to the sky. You can also make a car that spits fire for absolutely no reason and then watch it burn to ashes before your sad little puppy dog eyes because you forgot how gravity and grass might play with fire and wood. The weapon fusing system reinvigorates the durability system of weapons. I know this was a deal breaker for a lot of people with the first game, but personally, I loved the durability system, and the constant need to scavenge for new tools of destruction, to me, kept the combat dynamic and forced me to make full use of the sandbox. Here we find more of the same. Utilizing Fuse to make strange and wondrous new ways to murder is never not a blast and a half. You can stick a bat's eye on an arrow to make it home in on the target. You can stick a stick on another stick and make an even longer stick. The possibilities are dizzying. There are a few things I don't like. Basically all quality of life stuff that was absent in the first game as well. Cooking is still a menu-intensive chore, and the lack of full voice acting for a game of this scope is disappointing. And yeah, I think that's like the whole list of negatives. The awesomeness on offer here really drowns out the critic in me. Do you know what else was awesome? They gave me back all my old horses. I had all but forgotten about these adorable beasts of burden due to having gotten the motorcycle in the last game, but without my trusty hog, I was very glad to be reunited with Al Capone, Bruce Maine, and the rest of the stable gang. Look, I don't want to gush about Tears of the Kingdom too much longer. Seriously, if you have a Switch, play the game. This is very likely going to be the game of the year. You don't want to skip this one. Anyway, I should go. I got a princess to save. Again! If you liked this video, consider subscribing, hitting the like button, checking out some of my other videos, or my weekly live gaming news show Sundays at 6 Central. Thanks for watching. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.